Despite maintaining your equipment on a timely basis, there are certain areas which may sometimes give in. Take this for example. A leaking hydrant may puzzle you regardless of how religiously you keep your hydrants in top condition. Don't feel bad, as these things are just normal. Everything has its limit and out of your control. However, in this video, repairing a hydrant is just simple as it gets. Let's go. Before we start off with the repairs, two hydrants were included in this video. The first hydrant is of high grade and complex build, while the other one features a simpler mechanism. So we have here a leaking hydrant. First off, isolate and drain the fire lines of the area on where the hydrant is. When finished, remove the hydrant, but be sure to install an isolating flange or blind to keep things safe. At the workshop, the items you'll need with the repair are the valve seat cutter, which comprise of the adjusting screw and its body, the fixing bed, the spindle, set of cutters, and its handle. You also need grinding pastes, which vary from coarseness, and two 19mm wrenches. Secure the hydrant on the bench vise. Remove the top half, and there you'll see the seat or the seat ring. So the problem here is that the seat was deformed by debris mixed with water along the fire line. Every time you shut the hydrant, those debris get squeezed between the hydrant seat and the disc. Sad to say, there's no way of avoiding this. What you'll need is a valve seat cutter. What it does is it evenly grinds the valve seat, providing a smooth surface for the valves. Assembling the seat cutter is simple. Attach the fixing bed to the body of the adjusting screw. Insert the spindle, then the adjusting screw. And before installing the seat cutter, be sure its size fits the seat of the hydrant and the flat part should be used. And finally, install the handle. Place the whole assembly on top of the bottom part of the hydrant. Sometimes, the hydrant screws may be too big for the fixing bed. Remove those and find appropriate bolts to fix the assembly to the hydrant. Once everything is in place, tighten the adjusting screws as well as the lock nut. You will be constantly adjusting these two, as they are the ones pushing the seat cutter while it grinds the hydrant seat. Always turn the handle clockwise and use a minimal amount of weight when turning. Always see to it that the seat is grinded evenly, and stop if those deformities are removed. Once you're satisfied with the result, remove the spindle of the seat cutter and replace it with a hydrant spindle with a disc attached, and apply a good amount of grinding paste to the disc itself. But in this video, since the hydrant spindle is too big to fit to the body of the valve seat cutter, I removed the disc from the hydrant spindle and inverted the seat cutter to fit the disc. So apparently, the valve seat cutter will be latching on top of the hydrant disc. But before I forget, there are specific types of grinding paste which varies from coarseness. Be sure to apply first the coarse paste and finishing it off with the fine paste. This process is called lapping, and what it does is it will smooth out both the seat and the disc, so both perfectly seals the water in. Now that you have finished with the repairs, clean what needs to be cleaned. Install the top half of the hydrant once done. Now, test the integrity of your work by installing a flange at the bottom part of the hydrant with an air inlet to introduce air in. Pour water at the inside of the hydrant and turn on the air supply. If no bubbles are present, the disc and seat made a good seal. And if ever you see water leaking out of the spindle, it is because the fiber packing or the packing gland inside the gland nut was disturbed. Luckily, this is just an easy fix. To show you what we're dealing with, let's open up the gland nut on the top half of the hydrant. The black ring you see here is the packing gland, also known as a compression packing or packing seal. This rubber-like material acts as a gasket for your spindle. If there are no damages to it, all you have to do is slightly tighten both nuts of the gland nut to compress the packing gland inside to seal that area from leakage. When everything's good, reassemble the whole hydrant, replace the gasket, and install it back to its place. Be sure to test it once more if it holds up to the water pressure exerted to it by the fire lines.
Chris, pwede pa ako ng GS pump number 1?
Yes, ma'am, number 1, okay.
Now with the other hydrant, if you found the last hydrant so complex to repair, this one is just downright simple. And I'm not exaggerating. Again, isolate all lines in that area, remove the hydrant, and blind that line. Upon disassembling the hydrant, you'll find that the disc is of Teflon type. What I like about this hydrant is that it only damages the disc and not the seat. So there's no need to introduce a valve seat cutter. Remove the Teflon disc and flip it on its opposite side. Come to think of it, it's more of a hack rather than a repair. And if ever that won't work due to the damages on both sides, you can always make one yourself through a lathe machine. Just make sure you have a Teflon rod available in the shop's inventory. Apply Teflon tape before reassembling the hydrant with the new side of the disc facing the seat. Then replace the hydrant gasket. To test its integrity, air test the whole unit like we did on the first hydrant. Pour in water, attach the air hose, and switch it on. If no bubbles are present, the Teflon disc and the seat made a good seal. When all is good, return the hydrant to its line and check once more if the hydrant holds up to the water pressure exerted to it by turning on the fire pumps. Repairing hydrants require time and patience, and if ever you're in a tight schedule, be sure you have a spare on the ready and schedule a repair if time permits, because a leaking hydrant should not be left unattended. Hey, if ever you like this video, give me a thumbs up and hit that notification bell. If you loved it, subscribe. Peace.